disse antes, em todos os níveis. Temos projetos em nível multiprojeto, com os quais lidamos em nível estratégico, como tivemos no status dos projetos, e tomamos decisões, por exemplo, em caso de conflito de recursos, mas também temos quadro em todos os níveis, mesmo um quadro só de uma equipe ou de uma área, um quadro acima de um único projeto, e acima de tudo temos um quadro multiprojeto. Toda a organização, sem dúvida, todos os quadros estão ligados entre si, ou seja, uma mudança no nível baixo se reflete no nível alto e bidirecional. Uma tomada de decisão no nível muito alto deve ter influência no nível baixo. Acho importante que tanto de cima para baixo quanto de baixo para cima essa visibilidade seja total e instantânea.
Okay, good. We can continue. So, first key for how to make the impossible possible, especially when we are in context of developing organizational agility, running complex projects, is this one. Provide instant visibility at all levels of the projects in order that the teams can get feedback, the teams can get synchronized information about how they can synchronize the actions in the projects in order to deliver results, and also this highest level of feedback for the entire organization about all the projects in such a way that consistent, adequate decisions are made at organizational level. And as Asier said, this information has to be updated in real time if possible, in such that in order that if there are some changes, because changes occur every day, so all the changes to priorities, delays or times or whatever can be informed there and can lead to adequate decisions in the entire organization. Okay? So, another good point of using a network of Kanban systems for managing the projects at all levels of the organization is precisely because these Kanban systems provide you metrics and quantitative information that you need for making decisions in the projects. Which are these data? For example, we always have to estimate, project organizations always have to make estimates in order to give the customers or to determine the dates of the milestones, for example. So the first questions they have to answer is how much a certain work item or a work package is going to take us. The good point is that, the good news is that Kanban systems give you this information automatically. You don't have to do any manual work. You don't have to have Excel aside. You don't have to collect additional information or records from the team members. You have this information coming automatically from the Kanban system. Okay? They also have to answer questions like when you will inform us for the delivery of certain deliverables or products or deadlines. So again, this comes automatically from the Kanban systems. And also, if they have to plan the work for a department, they do this based on the capacity because they already have a good understanding of what their capacity is and what their capabilities. So they have this information coming from the Kanban systems about how much work can we commit to for a certain period of time? And what are the risks for meeting or not meeting certain deadlines? Okay, so very useful information for all of you who manage projects. You know that without this data, it's very difficult to manage the projects. And calculating or providing these estimations by other means, it's always too much effort consuming and it's not reliable. And also from the perspective of managing a project or several projects, there are always three parameters that are very important. What is the status of the project? So instead of asking all the people, involving them in reporting data, analyzing this data, preparing the status report in certain templates, or using Excel and other tools in order to develop a status report, you have it always at a glance, always in real time, because it's in front of your eyes. It's on the Kanban board. You see what is the status, you see what is the progress of the work packages, you see which elements of certain work packages are blocked, and this causes risks for meeting deadlines. So everything is on the Kanban board, and you do not have to dedicate any time as a project manager to preparing this report. In one of the companies, the project managers are telling me, Teodora, preparing the reports in this company requires a second life, because we don't have the time to prepare them because we have so much other work to do. And in addition, you visualize, and not only for but for all the projects in the organization, which are the deadlines, which are the criteria for meeting these deadlines. And this is always there on the board, and it continuously informed every person involved in the project and all the people involved in all the projects, which are the constraints for the projects, which are the deadlines they have to meet. So everything is there on the board. And therefore, with this feedback, it's a lot easier to make decisions and to make correct decisions, because the information is there, the information is correct, and it is communicated the same way to all project stakeholders and to the entire organization. Okay? So I mentioned Kanban project and portfolio management. This is the extension of the Kanban maturity model for project organizations. Do you know something about the Kanban maturity model? Raise the hands if you have heard something. Okay, quite some hands. So the Kanban maturity model includes guidelines for organizations who are interested in developing organizational agility, and this extension for project organizations is specifically oriented to the needs and to the challenges of project organizations. Okay, so it's really specific for them. The good point is that I can't remember, I think that Antoine Saint-Exupéry sent many years ago that I'm writing you a long letter because I don't have time to write you a short one. So I think it's something similar. First, one has to write a thick book in order to be able and to be prepared to write a short one. And writing a short book is really difficult. But this guide in particular, you can download it for free from our website, and it's also in Portuguese. You can download it both in Portuguese and English. But I'm working on defining more detailed extension of the Kanban maturity model precisely for project and portfolio management organizations. The good news is that, especially for those of you that come from project organizations and think that, well, another method, so let's see how this will affect all the other methods and all the other practices we have in place in our organization, you are not going to any other method, because you will only learn or practices that complement other project management bodies of knowledge, and these practices will help precisely addressing these particular challenges for project organizations. Coping with changing priorities, coping with changing requirements, delays, over budget, conflicts in the decisions because of different business objectives between business units or between different business lines in the organization. So this is what we are addressing in the Kanban project and portfolio management extension. And because it is directed, it is oriented to project organizations who have to manage complex projects, well, complex and not so complex, it groups all the practices in four categories. Starting with the practices that respond to the need to plan project activities, then communicate the information about the status of the project, the objectives of the project, and align all project stakeholders around the objective of these projects. So these are the activities that are not present currently in other project management bodies of knowledge, and therefore we have decided to include them in this extension. And then monitoring and adjusting the course of the project. Pay attention, it's monitor and adjust. Typically project organizations talk about monitoring and control. But in fact, it's not about controlling the project. It is about monitoring, yes, because we need to have this feedback about what is the real situation of the projects, but we need this information to be able to adjust correctly the activities in the project in order to meet milestones or to meet deadlines or to deliver all the products and services correctly to the customer. So therefore, we add here practices related to monitoring and adjusting the course of the projects. And then learn and adapt these practices that are, well, included and not included in other project management bodies of knowledge. But we definitely need to develop the skills of the organizations to learn from their experience and to make appropriate adaptations in how they work, in their policies and their processes, in order to develop the competitiveness for the entire organization. The Kanban project in portfolio management extension is for the entire organization. It's not for certain teams or certain projects. And in addition, all these practices are focused on improving the outcomes of the organizations. Of course, improving the delivery of the project results to the customers, but also developing a good working environment in the companies in such a way that people can work in a less stressful manner, without stress if possible, well communicated, well coordinated, and also to be able to deliver their professional career, to develop their professional skills and their professional career the way they want to grow in the company. And the final pillar, or the third pillar of the KPPM extension, is developing the culture of the organization. Maybe you ask yourself, why I start talking about the culture? And of course, the culture is the basis for all the actions, all the way of thinking and behaviors in the organizations. However, especially with project organizations, we very frequently were in situations when the companies were telling us that our primary objective is to improve the results of our projects. And we will see how the culture has to evolve. So we understand that the culture will change, but the most important thing for us as a business is to start delivering a better project result. Therefore, I have mentioned it on third place here, the culture changes in the organization, because when you introduce transparency, when you introduce Kanban boards, when you introduce common policies, when you start defining how you make decisions in the entire organization, of course the way of thinking changes, the behaviors change, the habits of the people change, and this happens gradually. Therefore, it stays because it evolves naturally. Well, as an extension of the Kanban maturity model, I assume there will be no surprise here. Organizations who are interested in adopting the Kanban project and portfolio management extension have to be prepared for a journey. So it's not just a list of practices and we start marking, yes, check, 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 this is done, done, done. We are evolving, we are developing new skills, new way of thinking for the entire organization. So this is a journey. So we start where you are, of course, without changing processes, without changing roles, job titles in the organizations, but we have to know where we want to go. What is our purpose? What is our target? How do we see our organization in certain time? What do we expect for our project management as a level of confidence in management in certain time? And therefore, we need a map that can guide us from the current situation of the organization until their target situation. And you might think that, well, she was talking a lot about industrial companies, and you might think that, well, we are working in a bank, so how would it happen, all these initiatives in banks or insurance companies or pharmaceutical companies or any other business? The good news is that the organizational evolution happens the same way, although each journey is different. And all the practices in the companies from different sectors, from different domains is different. And this is precisely the richness of seeing all these practices and being able to share such practices in events like this or with other professionals. So therefore, I have selected another interview for you, and this time it comes from a bank. It comes from Banco Industrial de Guatemala. This is one of the largest banks in Central Europe. They are operating in Guatemala, Honduras, and Panama. And they decided, among different options that they had, they decided to introduce the Kanban project and portfolio management in their organization gradually, and they achieved amazing progress in only 6 months. And in addition, we were guiding them completely online, remotely, so which is kind of more difficult than working with them in person. Okay, so let's hear them. Here we are going to listen to Diego Vasquez, who is the head of electronic banking, and Eric Fernandez, who is the member of the Lean office in the bank.
São muitas pessoas que estão assumindo a responsabilidade e às vezes que não são perfeitas. Então, no final das contas, uma das questões que mais gera desafios é a mudança de hábitos, a mudança de ferramentas. Você está mudando a maneira como uma pessoa trabalha. Então, acho que essa foi talvez a parte mais complexa. Tivemos que conviver com a recomendação profissional, tínhamos, e começar a comunicar nessa também. Essa, eu acho que foi uma das questões mais complexas. As informações eram muitas. As pessoas diziam, quando é que a gente vai parar de fazer outra coisa? Estávamos em processo de votação. Então, toda essa questão de gerar credibilidade da evolução foi não só para nós líderes visualizarmos todas essas informações, mas também para as próprias equipes entender a ferramenta de trabalho que no dia a dia eles estavam usando. Essa é a parte mais difícil. Acho que o apoio da gestão foi fundamental, pois eles abriram as portas para nós, confiaram como líderes de equipes para trabalhar ao longo dessa implementação, e isso também nos ajudou a construir essa confiança para baixo. Aí o nosso desafio, ou no meu caso, começar a aproveitar todo o trabalho que já estava sendo captado nos funcionários. Você indo para cima, acho que foi uma das coisas que mais ajudou na conversão. Assim, a parte mais complexa é a mudança desse produto das equipes. Acho que compartilha a mesma coisa que o Diego disse, de mudar a mentalidade das pessoas é fundamental. É provavelmente o mais complicado, porque, como eu disse, saímos de um trabalho e queremos passar para o outro. Muitas pessoas se sentiam confortáveis com a maneira como trabalhavam, sem saber dos benefícios que poderiam ter ao trabalhar dentro do Kanban. Então, acho que talvez esse tenha sido o principal desafio, conseguir colocar todos nós no barco do Agile, do Kanban, porque no começo eles veem isso como uma carga mais. Eu acredito que isso acontece em qualquer organização. Você implementa algo novo e tem que andar de datas como estava sendo feito tradicionalmente ou numa organização global. Então você pega na mão e vê com um fato a mais, mas aos poucos você percebe os benefícios de implementar isso, as ferramentas e esses métodos, e quando você começa a entender, você começa a se apoiar no novo método. E você começa a ver que não só no nível organizacional, no nível de negócio, do cliente, há benefício, mas também a nível pessoal, porque te permite, por exemplo, liberar capacidade, liberar tempo para se dedicar a outras coisas, porque está rentabilizando o tempo sem ter que se dedicar tanto esforço à implementação. E nesse caso, foi o método Kanban.
Okay. So back to the question, how to make the impossible possible. Some keys here. Construct this entire solution of interconnected Kanban boards in such a way that you can provide instant feedback at all levels of the organization, and the organization is able to make fast decisions and adequate decisions, and also be able to execute all the actions they have decided quickly. So they start acting as one organization without conflicts inside the organization. And in addition, they learn continuously from their experience, and this creates their strength and their ability to adapt to changes in their circumstances. Okay? So this is what we are defining in the map of introducing Kanban projects and portfolio management. It is a journey, but on this poster, I don't know how to show it here, but you can see the different stages, different maturity levels, and what you introduce in each one of these levels. So just finishing on time, I'm happy. We can continue this conversation in the other room. Maybe you know better than me where this room is. Oops. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very